Welcome back to this Young Turk special from Monte Carlo. It's time for us to head into Hungary and meet the country winner. A pioneer in investment banking and private banking, he helped relaunch the Budapest Stock Exchange in 1990 and started his company Concord Securities in 1993, which is $300,000 and 6 employees. Today he manages assets over $2 billion.
In 1993, Gyorgy Jaksity founded Concord Securities, one of Hungary's largest independent financial services providers. It was the first company to launch an online broker business and in 2004 got Gyorgy a place in the Financial Times list of the 24 most promising young European business people. How did you actually start a business that was dealing with the capital markets in Hungary?
It was a very interesting time. It was right after the transformation of Hungary from a communist country into a capitalist modern market economy. I was attracted to capital markets and investments. I was studying that on the university on my own, and I really wanted to be in that business. So in '93 we launched a broker-dealer, and then we have been developing it into an integrated investment services firm in the last 15 years.
So how easy has it been to convert people who've for so long been with a communist mindset to actually adapt to capitalist models and capitalist investment ideas?
It's very, very difficult. We are still struggling with that. It can be seen in our savings and the structure of savings in Hungary that people are still attracted to investing most of their money in short-term deposits and banking instruments as opposed to investing in the stock market, and that's because of the long period of the lack of markets and stock exchange and capital investments.
So what are you doing? What is the strategy actually been to try and convert people to the capital market?
We do help education in Hungary in general. We are financing campaigns and programs in schools that would provide a better financial education to the new generations. So we hope that the new generations will be our much bigger clients than the current generations.
But are you going to look only at Hungary, or are you also looking at moving into other markets at this point?
We do both, because we started up as an international broker-dealer. Most of our business was servicing clients from North America, Europe and other parts of the world who invested in Hungary and Central Europe. Now growingly we are investing Hungarian and Central European clients' money in the rest of the world.
So what's your advice to all other entrepreneurs? What would your mantra to them be?
First of all, never believe in success. Success is the worst advisor. The best advisor and the best teacher is crisis and failures, because that's when you are pressed and convinced to learn and to be a little bit more modest and to seek where your weaknesses are, and when you find your weaknesses, to do something about them.
The country winner from Ireland has his operations in China and sells to clients in the US. Some of his customers include Apple, Dell and Microsoft. His company turned in a turnover of $120 million in 2007. Here's the story of Liam Casey.
Liam Casey's PCH International, founded in 1996, provides US MNCs a gateway into the Chinese market for consumer electronics, high-tech as well as the medical sector. PCH's service include design, engineering, manufacturing, quality management and logistics.
Ireland would be the European manufacturing headquarters for many of the big tech companies, companies like Apple, Dell, EMC, Microsoft. They all have their European headquarters in Ireland. So we saw an opportunity to bring products from China into these manufacturing companies. So that's where we started. And we started sourcing purely for the Irish market, but as our operations built up in China, we then started supplying the rest of the world. So today we would supply mostly into the US market.
So have you been in talks with any Indian companies? Could you possibly look at starting operations in India very soon? Have you had any interaction with India at all?
Yes, we have. Actually, with we've spoken to some of the banks in India, actually, because they would actually manage some of the trade flows, the financial trade flows. And we work very closely with the financial institutions, with the banks, because they will actually have the clients and businesses, how business is conducted worldwide is changing. There was no more LCs, or the use of LCs is reducing. So now you need to get a better control over the supply chain, and that's what we do. So sometimes the banks will come to us and they'll ask us to manage the supply chain so that they can advance the cash. So there's three areas: there's the flow of information, there's the flow of product, and then there's the flow of cash, and we manage all three.
Okay.
So we work with some of the banks, and we've spoken to some Indian banks.
Okay, there's a lot of concern about the slowdown of the US economy, and that's a big market for you, probably your biggest market at this point in time. How worried are you? And in a downturn, what does an entrepreneur like you actually do? How do you deal with it?
Great question. For us, the downturn creates a great opportunity, because now companies that would have been considering outsourcing are making fast decisions to outsource. And because we have the resources on the ground, we're able to take on bigger projects for our clients. So they're able to outsource bigger projects to us. So we're having much bigger conversations about bigger projects with bigger companies now that the downturn is happening. Because a lot of these big multinationals are trying to maintain their margins or increase their margins. They can't do it without outsourcing, and that's where we really come in. And for us, sometimes, the downturns really play in our favor.
Okay, is there anything specific that an entrepreneur from Ireland has really as part of his entrepreneurial DNA? Is there any Irish element that we should know of?
I'm sure there is, but again, so people ask me about being an entrepreneur, and I always say that, a person can't be entrepreneurial. An organization is entrepreneurial. You can create an entrepreneurial organization. I think entrepreneur as a word is a fancy name for getting things done. And I think that, you create an entrepreneurial environment. I don't think an individual can be an entrepreneur.
Yeend started his entrepreneurial journey when he was just 14. At 23, he became one of Australia's most acclaimed cinematographers. Today, he's the CEO and founder of Imagination, an interactive gaming company that works across television, radio, and mobile communication. Here's his story.
Imagination creates, produces, and distributes some of the most compelling interactive DVD games. And its CEO, Shereen, regarded a pioneer, has won more than 55 media industry awards and clinched licensing deals with the world's largest entertainment companies like MGM, Disney, and Nickelodeon.
I started moved from being a cinematographer and traveling the world and the power of media thing, and moved into making television shows, into making the first interactive television shows, into I think we made Pepsi's first website when there was CompuServe numbers. I can remember telling them that we could make this thing on the internet, and they were like, "What's the internet?" So I've been in it forever, so it's just a transition.
What was it actually like for you to start your own company, start your own business? What was that process like? And how long did it take you from blueprint to actually starting off?
My dad had a video camera, one of the first video cameras when Betamax first came out. And I filmed my cousin's wedding, and I went, "Oh, this is pretty good." She really liked that. So I went to the bridal affair thing, and no one had ever done a video wedding in my town ever. And I came out of that with like 3 years of bookings. So that was my first business.
So bridal videos were your first. India, that's the market. You should have actually started there. But how did the current business happen? How did Imagination start?
Well, it actually transformed out of building the first interactive TV show in Australia to building interactive radio, and then it was really looking at the relationship between media and the customer. And I was fascinated on how entertainment, once you had a relationship with the customer, was going to change business models. Games on radio were the biggest things we found, on the most interactive things on radio in the world. Out of the back of that, we launched took a simple 6-minute game on radio, launched it as a board game, outsold Monopoly in 90 days, from that to television, from television to the internet site, from the internet to mobile phones, and I think the internet site, going back a bit, was the #1 internet site in 97, 98, 99 in Australia. So we really understood about what people would interact with. So all I've really done is we have a cross-platform games and media business, and we own it from idea to shelf in just about every sector. And we're a global company now managing this huge digital portfolio.
And part of your global plans is possibly looking at acquisitions, and possibly looking at acquisitions in India. Is that right?
It's definitely high on our radar, and we've been looking at making a couple of small acquisitions sort of as a base platform, but you'll see us there very shortly.
But what sort of acquisitions would these be? Are these pure play gaming businesses? Are these content developers? What sort of businesses are you looking at?
Yeah, distribution and content. More things that we can bring our know-how on global platforms and relationships.
With that, it's a wrap on this special edition of Young Turks. As always, do write to us with your comments, your feedback, your suggestions. youngturks@network18online.com. That's our email address. We'll catch you again next week with a lot more buzz and excitement from the world of entrepreneurship. Till then, from all of us here, goodbye and thanks for watching.